From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Sulaiman Aleda.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, the race for 2015 begins in the PDP as aspirants storm party headquarters to pick up expression of interest forms ahead of the elections. The coroner inquest into synagogue church collapse opens in Lagos today. Presiding judge gives assurances of fairness. United Nations ask African leaders to work towards reducing slums in the continent. And US braces up for Ebola infections as WHO warns that EVD could lead to failed states.
On business news, foreign portfolio investments to the Nigerian Stock Exchange increases by over 55% between July and August this year.
And in sports news, Super Falcons coach Edwin Akon says his team is mentally prepared to face Zambia tomorrow, Tuesday, at the Africa Women's Championship.
The race to the 2015 elections is already heating up as some aspirants for various political offices in the 2015 general elections today stormed the national headquarters of the People's Democratic Party to pick up expression of interest and nomination forms. One of the aspirants, Majority Leader in the House of Representatives, Honorable Mulikat Akonde Adeola, says that she is confident that she still has the support of her constituents. Members of the party from Akwa Ibom State also called on the South-South Integration and Reconciliation Committee of the party to address the grievances threatening transparent elections in the state. Our correspondent Lanre Lasisi has this report.
These are supporters of different aspirants who gathered at the national headquarters of the PDP. They're here with the aspirants to pick up the expression of interest and nomination forms from the party. One of the aspirants, Majority Leader of the House of Representatives, who was there to pick her forms, said the party is now set to regain the Southwest Zone from the All Progressives Congress.
We have won Ekiti State, and that means all the members will be coming from PDP this time around. Oyo State, even though we didn't have a governor, we have 5 members from Oyo State, and the number is going to double now. Ogun State also, we didn't have, but a lot of members have decamped and they are coming back. Then you have Ondo State as well. So Governor Mimiko has joined PDP, so that automatically all the 7 members from Ondo will become PDP. So I think the so-called losses are now gains for us.
Journalists also sought to know if she's still interested in becoming the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Will you want to be the Speaker of the House today?
I will definitely want to be, yeah.
The National Organizing Secretary of the party says the party is poised to conduct transparent primaries.
You can see, you have seen people coming here in a very festive mood, signifying that PDP is a party to beat. We are doing our very best to make sure that the exercise of primaries will be transparent, free and fair.
Meanwhile, some members of the party from Akwa Ibom State say the Integration and Reconciliation Committee of the party for the South-South Zone must help ensure the grievances of members are addressed. Speaking in Abuja, the members say this is necessary to ensure the party is united before primaries commence.
It is also very important to urge the committee to be just and fair, because all the issues raised, ranging from the illegal seizure of the membership register of the party to the aspect of imposition, these are germane issues.
The Integration and Reconciliation Committee sat through last week meeting with party members from the South-South Zone. The committee is yet to submit its recommendations. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
Also, the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party is asking members of the party in Rivers State to remain faithful despite political persecutions. The PDP chairman speaking when he led members of the party's National Working Committee to the State Party Secretariat in Port Harcourt said where he was received by party members led by the state chairman Felix Obwa. The meeting comes on the heels of the crisis that marred a reconciliation meeting of the party in Abuja recently.
It is with absolute humility that I stand before you today to address you as my party men and women, young and old, that have remained despite the animosity against you in your state, while you build a party, while you build a government, and yet you are kicked out. But I'm happy with your commitment. And by the grace of the Almighty God, we will be the next occupants, PDP, of the Brick House. Brick House has always been our home, and by the grace of God, we will continue to occupy it. In God we ask for help, and in God we totally rely. And He has the power and the glory, and I'm sure He will answer our prayers. I encourage you to remain steadfast, to remain firm, to remain committed, to remain loyal to our party. You are in the right party.
Well, still on politics in the country, former Vice President of Nigeria, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, is advocating a change in the machinery of government at all levels in order to improve the welfare of all Nigerians. The APC presidential aspirant told journalists in Abuja that the only task before the party is for members to give him an opportunity to be the flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress, and then, if elected, he will create massive employment opportunities and also tackle the security challenges of the country.
The main thrust is the explicit bid to modify the way the machinery of federal government works by one, providing the political will, vision, and capacity to lead this great nation with great population. Clarifying and streamlining MDA's remits and responsibilities, removing overlaps and operational redundancies. Systematically devolving and delegating operational responsibilities to states and local governments and private sector organizations, both commercial and charitable. Addressing habits and practices that currently compromise policy implementation. Enriching good governance is the hallmark of our administration, and eventually ensuring that solutions can be implemented, monitored, and evaluated.
Well, for Nigeria, there's now a greater need for member countries of the Lake Chad Basin to forge greater synergy. This has to begin with surveillance in the border areas linking Nigeria, Chad, Benin, Niger, and Cameroon. Rising from a meeting of the foreign ministers of the 5 countries, Nigeria's Foreign Minister Ambassador Aminu Wali mentioned that a common draft resolution from the meeting would enable the UN Security Council and the African Union put up appropriate legal framework and defense strategy for efficient cross-border military operations against Boko Haram.
It is an established fact, which we have often stated, that terrorism is an international phenomenon that has to be addressed through collaborative efforts at sub-regional, regional, and global levels. As a sub-regional body, we are at a crossroad. We must define the nature and scope of this struggle, which we must win, or else it will define us. We may never be able to totally erase the evil that lies in the hearts of some human beings or stamp out every danger to to our open society. What we can do is to dismantle the terrorist network that poses direct danger to us and make it less likely for new groups to gain footholds while maintaining the freedom and ideals that we defend. To define this strategy, we must take decisions based on hard-earned wisdom, but not on fear. And that begins with a thorough understanding of the current threat that we face.
Well, from that meeting, which is primarily aimed at curbing the insurgency by Boko Haram, the foreign ministers moved to the presidential villa to see President Jonathan. And straight away, the president emphasized the need for neighboring countries to intensify military operations along the border areas. He then said there is no the affected countries to implement the outcome of the meeting on establishing a command center for a multinational force headed by Chief of Staff is agreed in Niamey, the Nigerian capital. Those present at the meeting were the President, the Foreign Affairs Minister of Chad, Niger, Cameroon, and Benin Republic. Well, the United Nations has called on governments globally to develop slums across major cities around the world. The call was made in Abuja by the UNDP country representatives. Dauda Toure as Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark this year's World Habitat Day. This year's edition focuses on directing the attention of leaders to the plight of rural dwellers globally.
Rapid urbanization, especially in the developing world, has seen overall slum population rise. In some parts of sub-Saharan Africa, as many as 70% of urban dwellers live in slums and informal settlements. Many of the people who inhabit slums were pushed to migrate by the lack of opportunities in rural areas of their countries of origin. They regularly lack basic services such as water, sanitation, electricity, and street lighting. Crime is often endemic, with women and girls particularly at risk. Unemployment, underemployment, and the cost of transport to distant places to work add further hardship. To achieve sustainable development and a life of dignity for all, we must address these issues.
In part two after the break, issues of gender equality features in the Interparliamentary Conference. That's in a moment. Stay with us.